Aim of the performance improvement projects. To put it simply, the aim of performance improvement projects is to get higher profits from the business we have today. When you enter the company, they already have certain EBITDA, and the aim of the project is to simply find improvements that will help increase this EBITDA preferably significantly. In other words, you want the potential EBITDA after your project to be much higher than what the company has today. Improvements might be of different kinds, so you might find some sort of a savings, reduction of costs. You might look for increase in sales that will lead also to increase of profit, or there might be other actions that will lead to additional margin being increased through some sort of a renegotiation of contracts or maybe changing of the product portfolio. One way or the other, you have to find those ways to get from current situation to the much nicer EBITDA in the future. In order to do that, you have to do the following things. So first of all, you have to find potential improvements. Then you have to estimate their value as well as costs and CapEx required. You might have a situation where the potential improvement is nice, their value is quite nice as well, but the cost or CapEx is so big that it doesn't make sense to actually implement it. Later on, you have to also show how those improvements can be delivered. It doesn't have to be in detail, but you have to show that this is actually possible, that other companies have done it, and the company you are working for has the potential resources, capacities to do that. Or in other words, in some situation, you have to also mention what has to change in order for this improvement to be implemented. It also makes sense to check whether the improvements fit in with the strategy of the company. You would not like to have a situation where the improvements is undermining actually the overall strategy. Obviously, you might have a situation where the strategy is wrong, but that it's a little bit different type of project. In the performance improvement projects, you assume that the strategy is roughly the right one, but you want to improve basically the way it is being delivered and the results of the firm. If during the project you discover that actually the strategy is wrong, then actually you have a nice new project to do with your customer. You also should provide help with implementing the improvements. We'll discuss it later on how it can be done. Bear in mind that the implementation is an important part of your value proposition when you're offering the performance improvement projects to firms. And finally, in the same manner, you should be also able to make sure that the improvements are kept. You would not like to have a situation where you, in theory, implemented certain improvements, but after some time, this improvement was dismantled because of the processes which are happening in the company or the fact that you did not put the proper procedures, manuals in place, and at the end, the company did not achieve the goal. So that's in short. From this lecture, you should remember that the aim is to find improvements that are measurable. You know what they cost and what is CapEx behind them, that are implementable, and you know how to do it. They are a good fit with the strategy, and you know how to implement it, and as well how to make sure that the improvements are kept.